good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm here today with my dear friend Amira, and we are having a virtual coffee and talking about success, entrepreneurship, and many other things. I've known Amira for almost 3 years now. Is that right? Almost.
Really?
Yeah, since 2021. Yeah, we were
Oh
in a
my gosh.
mastermind group together, and for almost a year we worked in this mastermind group together. And then Amira became my client, and for the last year we've been working together inside my program, Thinking into Results. And so far, we've been through many, many things, many new projects. We started our own businesses. We achieved so many goals. And we also faced many, many challenges. And we learned a lot together.
That's
So
right.
I'll let you introduce yourself, Amira, if you want.
Yes, please. Well, my name is Amira and I live in Denmark. Like I told you guys, I got to learn to know her like 3 years ago. It's like I was in shock when you said 3 years. For me, it's still one year and a
Time
half.
flies.
Yeah, time just flies by, but you're right. We've been through a lot of things together, and I'm so grateful for the process. And with the insight that I got now after this, I'm like, wow, people don't know what they're missing out of. So thank you for having me here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nina. I'm from Paris, and I'm a success expert and a mindset coach. And my program is based on Bob Proctor's teachings, and it's called Thinking into Results. And this program is basically aimed for any person who has any goal or any dream they want to achieve. And the purpose of this program is to help you identify whatever is blocking you or holding you back and helping you achieve this goal in a very step-by-step process in a very clear manner and a very scientific manner as well. And this is actually what Amira has been doing with me for the last few months now. What do you think about what you've been doing inside this program, Amira, and how do you think it's been making a difference for you?
Definitely, like have become so much more aware about myself, my own behavior, my own thoughts. I'm like every day thinking about, okay, why did I think like that? Or why did I do or act like this? So definitely it gives you a whole other point of view of life and of your own behavior as well. So normally you just like live your life on autopilot and go to work or manage your family, and you don't put so much thoughts into it. But after being into in this program, I'm like, wow, everything makes me just think a little bit more, and I became a lot more aware about my habits as well and how they are controlling my results.
Absolutely. I think awareness makes all the difference in someone's life because as exactly as you've been saying, we tend to live our life in an autopilot mode, and then we think we're making choices, but it's not the case. We're not making choices. We just go on an autopilot and letting whatever habits and whatever conditioning we've been taught to just make the choices on our place. So I think it all started with a goal. Either for me or for you, Amir, it all started with a dream. We both wanted something at a certain moment of our lives, and we didn't quite know how to achieve that something or if we actually are able to do it. Um, let's start with your goal, Amir. Tell us more.
Definitely. So when I started, like, I don't even remember what year it was, but I think it was in 18 or 19 maybe. I started thinking and studying a personal development, and I felt over Bob Proctor as well. And in the beginning I was a little okay, but in when you start studying his programs and his material, I was like so sold. So in 2021, I started his program, you said, with the mentoring, and I got into the programs, and I knew that I wanted more out of life. I always knew that this is not what I'm settled for. I'm not just, this is not only what life's about to. It's not only about waking up in the morning, going to work, stressing out with the kids and the family. I have three boys, so I have my own little family here. I always knew that I just wanted more. I have always been very ambitious, and I have a master's degree, and I was very hardworking as well. But I knew that I wanted more. Even though I was finished with my study, I knew that I wanted more. So I sat down and I did the write your goals 50 times, and I did it like over and over and over again to get more clear. And it has been a very insightful process and journey for me. So your goal can, of course, change. I have learned that, yeah. But in the end, it's overall the same, I can say, because I knew that I wanted to be financial independent. I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted to have my own business. And this has been the main goal. And the other things is just a little bit, you can adjust it on the way. So this was my goal, and this is what was my fuel into the process. Yeah.
I love how you described it because we tend to think about personal development only when we have challenges, but sometimes life is good. Sometimes we're doing just okay. Life is great. We have a good job, we have a good salary, we can travel. Life is just good. But we just can't stop thinking that we can do more, we can be more, and we can achieve much more than we actually are doing. And that was the case for me as well. So a few years ago, when I started thinking about all this, um, I was doing just great. I mean, I live in Paris, I have a great job. I'm quite happy. I travel all the time. I have lots of friends, but still, like something inside of me was telling me, I can do better. I can do much better. I just don't know what to do and where exactly to invest all this energy that I'm feeling, all this potential that I know is inside of me. I didn't know how to trigger it and to like unleash it. And I didn't know exactly what to do in order to fulfill my dream. And like the most ridiculous thing is that I didn't even know what my dream was because I never asked myself the question before.
And you're not alone. I can assure you that a lot of people are having these problems, like they don't know what they want in life, and they don't know how to navigate or where to go. So they live life and they just go blindly. So
Yeah,
you're
and
definitely
we tend
right.
to do whatever other people are telling us to do or whatever other people are doing. We just copy and paste. And
Definitely.
most people don't actually take the time and like take aside all limits and all circumstances and all environmental or societal conditions and just dream. Just what do you want? This was the first time, like a few years ago, that was the first time I asked myself, what do I really, really want? I've been doing like everything or almost everything other people were doing or whatever was available to me, given the circumstances and conditions. But I was limiting myself because I didn't dare to ask, like, if anything was allowed and possible, what would I actually really, really want? And that was a very important moment in my life when everything started to change because the moment I was truthful to myself and I was completely honest and I wrote down my goal was the moment everything shifted.
Yeah, definitely. And you can meet people that will tell you think rational or be logic, because this is just dreams and don't fantasize or something like that. But in reality, they don't know what they're holding themselves out from, because the real power is definitely in the goal setting and the imagination.
Yeah, be realistic.
Yeah. So right, you're so right.
Uh,
So
Nothing ever grows with just being realistic.
oh, oh, being realistic just keeps you stuck.
Yeah, it keeps you
Yeah.
safe, it keeps you comfortable. You can carry
Mm,
your own life living
yeah,
comfortably and safely and realistically, but what's the fun in that? And
definitely.
we're not going anywhere.
That's just a little bit boring.
Absolutely.
It's just a little bit boring if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always knew that I wanted more. So the goal setting definitely is what set me up and like set the fire in me that, okay, I want more and now I know what I want. So
exactly. I love it when you said set the fire. That was, yeah, for me, that was exactly the same fear, same feeling, because it's like a sparkle of fire and everything started to change, everything started to move, and I was like all over the place. Yeah, I need to do that because I want it. Never
yeah,
asked myself before, and now that I see it, I can't unsee it. I can't just ignore it and forget about it. This is what I want, and I have it in front of me in my vision board, and I would write it over and over again every time, and I would record myself, and I would remind myself of my dreams so that I wouldn't forget and I wouldn't go back to my comfort zone.
definitely. I also did that and I had these small poster in my wall in front of my bed as well and in the
Yeah,
mirror in my bathroom I also I wrote some little notes for myself to keep myself accountable because we are humans that are driven by their behaviors. So if we fall back in the bad habits, we tend to forget our purpose, our true purpose, and the goal that we have set. And we can fall very fast back to our habitual habits. So I just put these small posters all over the place to keep myself
I love it.
accountable. Yeah, and people, when I have people coming visiting, they're also, wow, that's very inspiring. But I think it's important to keep ourselves accountable as well in the process.
Absolutely. Accountability is very important, and for regular or like I wouldn't say normal people, but yeah, the majority of people who don't do this crazy stuff, we tend to do that, and we are because we are aware that our conditioning has to change in order for our results to change. And in order to change the conditioning, we have to repeat the same message over and over again, because the initial conditioning, or the current conditioning that we're living through, is or was built based on repetition. Since we were kids, everything was done on a repetitive basis. We learn languages. Each of us has an accent, for example, and this is through repetition. Like if we were born in somewhere else, we would have an absolutely different accent, for example, and this is some of our conditioning. The way we prefer certain foods instead of other foods. This is also a result of our conditioning. So, in order to change this habit, in order to change this conditioning, we must go through repetition over and over again, write our goals many times a day, repeat affirmations, have like you, Amira, some messages and some reminders for our subconscious mind to just remind ourselves and focus on the goal.
Definitely. I like how you said it because that's like we have talked a lot about my paradigms and how I had these strong paradigms that were controlling my behavior. And I knew that it was through the power of repetition that I could change them. And that's also why I just had that focus. No, I'm not going to fall back and let my paradigm win this time. I'm gonna step up. So I just like you said it and explained it.
Absolutely. And it's an ongoing fight. It's an ongoing battle
Definitely.
between us and our paradigm, our conditioning, because our paradigm is a multitude of habits. It has many good habits as well as many bad things. And the bad habits, or the bad conditioning, is about limiting beliefs, most of all. For me, it was basically limiting beliefs, procrastination, thinking that something is difficult, all kinds of habits of basically habits of thinking that would just trigger us to do this instead of that. We know what's best, but we still don't do it because we're conditioned to do something else. And this is where the trick is to identify exactly what's holding us back. And then through repetition, we keep over and over again repeating it until it changes. Someday
Definitely.
it just changes and we are a different
Definitely.
person.
And you don't even realize it in the beginning, and then you're like, wow.
Yeah.
You just fall in love with the person you have become in the process. So that's what it's all about, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. So you are definitely right about the conditioning and the paradigm, and this is something that we have been discussing a lot, because I knew, like, all this that I have been studying about what is it that is controlling us. Of course, we have our conscious mind, but this subconscious mind is where all the power is. So I was definitely doing the self-talk a lot. And people can laugh about it and like, oh, come on, how is that gonna help? But believe me, it gives you just a whole other level of energy as well. So you can be down, but if you just pep yourself up a bit and tell yourself that you got it, and that you are resourceful and you are determined and you have the power that you need, then you can definitely step up and change your energy like this. So
Absolutely. Yeah. People tend to think that these things are sometimes silly. They are silly, but we still do them because they
mm,
work. They seem silly. And that, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind affirming to myself in front of the mirror every day how awesome I am, because that just improves my mood and set me up for an awesome day. So why not?
definitely, definitely.
And I think for female entrepreneurs, especially, the self-image can be a very, very important aspect of their own business. So the self-image can actually either allow you to grow and shine and glow with your business, or at the same time, just limit yourself and just not dare to step up and just be out there and thinking that maybe you're too much and maybe you're too successful and maybe you're becoming arrogant or whatever kind of self-limiting beliefs or self-limiting messages that we're saying to ourselves. What do you think, Amira?
Well, I think that after been studying the self-image and the power that it has over us, I can definitely say that it's 100% true, because I remember back in the days when I first was like, I didn't know what to study. I didn't know which way to go. I definitely had limited beliefs and beliefs in myself and my abilities. So after been studying the
Mm-hmm.
personal development part and the power of the self-image and the power of our subconscious mind, I definitely realized that all this, it was my own fault. It was my own self-talk, my own self-image that I had about myself was limiting my results. And I didn't know it. I didn't know that I had this limited belief about myself, that I put myself in this box and thought that, no, like this kind of woman, I cannot go out there and be a powerful coach or be a powerful public speaker. But that was just a bunch of bull. I'm so sorry.
Totally, totally.
So definitely I had to change and do this transformation of my self-image, and I started writing. So okay, who am I today? I know people see me as one person, and I see myself as one person, but sometimes those limited beliefs are still there. We all have them. And what are limited beliefs? It's definitely fear. It's based on fear. So I was thinking, okay, let me just dig in to find out what is it that I have been hiding behind this self-image. And I think it definitely was because, as born and living in Denmark and as a Tunisian woman and wearing a scarf as well, I was limiting myself with the thoughts that people were thinking about me, even if it wasn't true. People were seeing me for who I am, but I was thinking that they only saw me for my scarf. And this was such a powerful awareness when I got this. I was like, oh my God, you have been limiting yourself all these years just because of judgments that wasn't real. So I took this self image and I was like, this is not true. I can definitely become who I want, do what I want, and achieve my goal much faster and make it so powerful. So I started writing the goal every day, and the self image was on top, how I wanted to see myself. And when I look back, I can definitely see it. When I talk to people as well that I work with, or my earlier colleagues or students that I have been studying with, they're like, Amira, you have changed so much. If you just go back a couple of years, I couldn't just be talking on the social medias or be like myself. I was so scared. It was like something totally out of my comfort zone. And now I'm like on stories and posting videos and reels and I don't know what.
That's crazy. Absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
insane, insane. So
Oh, I feel you. I feel you because I was totally there myself as well. And I think it takes a lot of courage to, first of all, admit to yourself what's holding you back. That takes a lot of courage to have an honest and very direct conversation with yourself and ask yourself the question and answer it. What exactly is holding me back? Why do I know exactly what to do and yet I don't dare to do it? Or I just procrastinate or pretend I don't have time or don't have resources or whatever kind of thing that we're telling ourselves. It takes a lot of courage to admit it to ourselves, and it takes even more courage to take action and to go and change it. But
definitely,
consistency is key. So you kept doing the same thing over and over again. Silly little things, but on a consistent basis, and things just
definitely.
change.
Definitely. And in the beginning, I couldn't see it. I was like, why ain't I moving? People are moving and people are reaching their goals. And I was like feeling like I was stuck. You know, we have talked about this, like a little duck in the sea. You see the
Yeah.
you don't see what's happening on top with the duck, but the legs are like this.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that about myself and my situation at that moment. And it stressed myself out a lot. But now, thank you so much for all the help, Nina, and our calls and our Zooms and everything. Like it has definitely been so helpful in my journey.
I think it's very difficult to do this kind of change by ourselves. Usually, a paradigm shift or a mindset change can be done through an emotional impact or through repetition. And through repetition, it's a bit tricky process because we can repeat the thing over and over again for a few days and then forget about it for a few days, and then just we go back to whatever we were doing before that decision. So the trick is to have someone to hold you accountable. And this is, I think, what I was doing as your mentor, as your coach. I was holding you accountable. We would meet every week, and we would write together, write down some action steps that you are going to take. And the next week, I'm going to hold you accountable and ask you, okay, have you done that? Have you reached out to this person to tell them to join your network marketing, or, for example, whatever the thing that you were trying to achieve at that time? So accountability is key, and we can't really depend just on ourselves most of the time to hold ourselves accountable, especially if it's the first time, if it's the very first paradigm that you're going to change, because we have a list of things that we need to change. Let's admit that. If it's the very first thing, very first time you try that, it's very hard to do it by yourself.
Definitely. You're so right.
Absolutely.
Because it's very normal. Like we try in the beginning, oh, everybody knows it. For example, exercising. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to change my lifestyle now. I'm going to exercise from Monday. And then Monday comes and you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it Wednesday. And you just keep on pushing it because let's get honest, you're not the best accountability partner. You need to get someone outside. And that's what a mentor or coach is. Fantastic opportunity to reach out for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me as well, if you knew me, Amir, a few years ago, and you told me that, yeah, someday you will be live on Facebook or live on Zoom and talking to people and just expressing yourself in a very improvised way, I would be like, Absolutely not. Thank you so much. I'd rather die than do I remember when I was a child, I would never raise my hand, even if I had, like, most of the time I had the right answer, but I would never dare to raise my hand. I would just like tell it to my the person sitting just next. Tell it, hey, this is the right answer. Go and tell it to the teacher, and they would be very happy, and they would just raise their hands and just tell it to the teacher, and everyone is happy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I know the perfect answer, but I'm just too shy to
Mm,
speak to people and to I think my fear, now that I think about it, was about being visible. I was too scared to be visible because maybe I was too much. Maybe I was going to show as arrogant or as just too out there. And as traditional little good girls, we don't want that, right?
mm,
So I totally get it. And when when we grew up, these things just stuck. They would just go through life with us. So until and unless we identify the paradigm, we identify the self belief, and until we are truly and fully honest with ourselves, it's never gonna change. It's not gonna change like just one day we would just wake up and we're a totally different person. We're just like much more confident and much more
no, no,
uh yeah.
definitely. I can align with that, Nina. I remember when I was back, when I was younger, I was also the kind that was sitting in the back and didn't say that much. Also in the work, I would just let anybody else get credit, and even if it was my work, I would like somebody else get the credit. But now I'm like, yeah, I will send it in front, and I will sign up for as the first one to take the project or to take the clients, and I can just see that wow, the growth is just awesome. So
And you know that now that you're speaking also about business, that's very important because women in business, executives and entrepreneurs, they also have this problem, this paradigm that they don't want to be too much out there, so they don't get credibility or they don't get recognition for what they're doing, and someone else is going to take the recognition. Someone else is going to take all the praise and all the profitability or whatever it is that's coming through them and thanks to them. So I think that's one very, very common paradigm that we all have as women, or at least
definitely.
most of us, that is just limiting ourselves and not being able or daring to be out there to express ourselves truly and as much as we ought to be, like through our full
Definitely.
potential.
Definitely. I would even say that it's like a paradigm that has been given from society into women, how we like see the roles between men and women in business. So you're definitely right. And we're just used to it being this male dominance felt, but no, we are also here and we are coming, and you can see much more women going out there and building empires, not just settling like usually, but you see women in director stillings and everything like this. So definitely a
Absolutely.
progress as well.
I mean, as well as for men, it's the same thing, but in a different situation. Like for a man, for example, usually the paradigm is they're a man, so they don't dare to be sensitive or don't dare to express their emotions. They don't dare to be vulnerable, and that would affect them emotionally and in terms of mental health, in terms of physical health as well, in terms of relationships. So it's all due to the self-limiting beliefs that we have. It's all due to our conditioning.
Definitely. And I also think that after studying all this with energy and masculine and feminine energy, that we just need to embrace it, like embrace the femininity and the masculine energy. Even if you are a woman or man, you can have both, but you have to embrace it. And it's okay for a man as well to be vulnerable as it is for a woman to be empowering. So
Absolutely.
definitely a
Yeah.
balance between them.
It's all about balance. I think it's all about wholeness and being in a very balanced vibration, in terms of energy, in terms of being, just daring to be whoever we are, because most people don't actually know who they are. I think that's
Mm.
the most common problem is we never actually just sit down with ourselves, just be quiet for a while, sit down, totally relax, and just ask ourselves, who am I? What do I want? And how do I get there? It will make the whole difference if we just try to sit down with ourselves just for a few minutes and have this honest conversation.
I think people are intimidated about it because that will put them out of their comfort zone as well. So that is why definitely I think that people don't like dig deeper for this awareness about what is it they actually want in life, what is it that is their purpose in life, their true purpose. Why is it that they're settling? Because I remember, like in the beginning, when you said that you were fine, you lived in Paris, you had a good job, but you knew that you just wanted more. And I remember that before I was pregnant with my last child, and it was summer, and I had a wonderful job, I have a wonderful home, and I live with my family. Everything is fine. And I was walking in the park, and I was like, but it's okay to not wanting to settle. That don't make you ungrateful. You can be very much grateful, but still doesn't want to settle in your life. So that was also an empowering awareness for myself, definitely.
So I think that day, okay, was not an option for you anymore.
Now,
Need much more than okay. Okay, that's good
definitely,
enough.
I was done being okay. I
Yeah,
wanted to be
amazing. I
awesome.
love it.
Yeah,
We're done being okay, ladies. We're done
definitely.
being okay.
Yeah, we know that we can get so much more, and we have to go for it. We don't have to settle anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love when you talked about gratitude as well. Being grateful is very important. It's maybe one of the most important things that we need to focus on, and that we don't actually focus on. We don't even think about being grateful or expressing our gratitude on a daily basis. And I think for me, that made the whole difference, because before I was introduced to all this, I used to take many things for granted, even if they were some dreams I had. Once I achieved those dreams, like one of my dreams, for example, was to come and live in Paris. Okay, but once I lived in Paris, and now I've been living here for many, many years, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's normal. Like if you go down the street, it's Paris. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice, but I totally forgot the day that I was like literally burning myself with desire and wanting so much to come live in Paris and have this opportunity and have this job and have this life. But once I was there, I totally forgot about it. I took it for
Mhm.
granted. And every time I was reminded by this, where like when a friend with come and visit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is awesome. I have a very amazing life. And I tend to forget about it. So being grateful does basically two things, but many, many other benefits as well. But uh, first thing is that we need to remind ourselves that what we're living now was once a dream. We are living in some of our past lives' dreams. And that's amazing. That's actually like one of the most amazing things that life um, would give us, and we tend to forget, unfortunately. And the second thing that gratitude does, it raises our vibration, and it puts us in a very, very good mood, and gives us so much energy. And it also would um, allow us to live inside this grateful um, persona that we have. I don't know how to express it exactly, but live inside our future version of ourselves that already achieved the dream, express their emotion. Like remind yourself of how your past version was dreaming of whatever you have right now, and then project yourself to the future and be grateful for what they have, what the future version of you has.
And I'm still doing it.
I know it.
Like this is an ongoing process, I think. Definitely. I have been visualizing and manifesting a lot of things in my life, and it is through the power of gratitude that I have been doing it. So definitely I am so happy and grateful for my life today, and I do it with the things that I have in my life today, and I also do it with the goals that I set to, like you said, put myself in that vibration, and apparently it will manifest into your reality.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what
So
it is.
we usually would start our mastermind meetings with sharing our wins and sharing our gratitude. And that would just set up the vibration and the good energy for all the group. Like just to share our wins, even if they're small, even if they're insignificant to us, could mean a lot to other people. And just the fact that we are expressing them loudly, it makes all the difference. The fact that we know that this thing happened and yeah, it's nice, it's different than just expressing it, writing it down, saying it out loud. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, you're so right. Because sometimes we have things we think about that we want, or things that we think we are grateful about, but we tend to forget it. And we tend to go in this fluffy energy frequency, you can call it. But when you write it down, or when you talk about it to our mastermind, for example, you keep reminding yourself as well about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do on a daily basis to keep track of your gratitude and exercise?
Well, I don't know if you have read it, but I have read the book from Rhonda Burns about the power of gratitude, the magic book. I have it
Yeah.
beside my bed as well. And she's talking about this magic rock, but I have a couple of rocks
Yeah.
beside my bed, so I see them every night before I go to bed. So, and every morning, this is funny. In the beginning, I would take a walk and express out loud the things that I'm grateful for in my life, and also say my goals for the future out loud. Now I do it in the car, and I have also managed to get my kids into it. So for myself,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, I say out loud 10 things. And I told my kids to just say 3 things, or else it will take a couple of hours.
Yeah,
Like
amazing. I
they
love it.
take a lot of time, but 3 things, each of my kids and myself, we say it out loud to each other. And my middle son, he's so funny. He's like, Mom, today I was saying this out loud, and my friend asked me, why are you saying that? So it's such a powerful um, exercise to do and to give further to my kids. Definitely, that is what I'm doing daily. What
Absolutely.
about you?
I do the same. I mean, I have a list of 10 things I need to write down every morning. When I'm having coffee, I'll just write down 10 things I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
And among these 10 things, 5 or more are things I already achieved, already have. And 5 other things are things that I want to do, but I'm grateful for them as if they were already achieved. And that's the magic. This is,
Yeah,
I think, the trick when it happens. And when you're grateful for something that hasn't happened yet, you're still giving yourself permission to experience it emotionally before it
definitely.
manifests in your real life.
Definitely. I would say it in present tense as well.
Yeah.
And while saying it, I would also visualize it. So sometimes I'm like going out loud, and people would be looking at me like this crazy
Yeah.
lady, because they don't know. But in my head, I'm like, yes, I just got this dream. I don't know what it is, but these goals that I'm saying out loud, and I'm happy. And like, you can just, if you were next to me, you can feel the energy. And my husband always laughs about me, tells me, okay, you're in
Yeah.
that mood. Yeah. So
Again, it's silly, but it works. So we keep doing it.
definitely,
Amazing.
definitely
And
it
when
works.
you say that, for example, your husband would feel your energy, it's because all energy is vibration. We are all vibrational beings. So it literally is vibrating and touching someone else
Definitely.
as much as it's touching you, and it's affecting you even on a physical level. So the trick with gratitude and exercising this gratitude muscle that we have is that we train ourselves to experience emotionally what the experience is, what achieving the goals feels like. So we are much more familiar with what the goal achieving situation will be like. And the more familiar we are with this emotion, the easier it is to get there. That's
Definitely.
the whole thing. And I love it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, Amira, what was your favorite thing about the program that we've been doing together?
Well, there's a couple of things, of course. Definitely the exercises as well. We would go through them together, and I would tell you the aha experience that I had.
Yeah.
The insight and the awareness that I had about myself. I was like, wow, this is why this period of my life I was doing this and this, and this is why my result only was this, because of my subconscious mind. I was manifesting those things into my life and I wasn't even aware about it. And that was just powerful experience that I had. Definitely.
Absolutely. Oh, I love the aha moments.
Yeah.
The more you study the thing, even if it's the same paragraph, if you keep studying it over and over again every day, you're still discovering new things. You're still seeing new things that you didn't see yesterday or the day before, because the paragraph or the text or the course doesn't change. It's you who are changing. And since you're changing, you're seeing much more, you're much more aware of what's going on, and you have a better understanding.
Definitely, I see things from a whole other perspective. I see things much clearer, and I can align with the saying from Bob Proctor as well. He was like telling about how he was reading the book Think and Grow Rich for so long, and I was like in the beginning, but why? But it definitely makes sense because I also have read it a couple of times now. It's like for my third time, and I was like, oh, I didn't even remember this, but it's because of myself that now I can see it from a whole other perspective. So definitely.
Absolutely. And we also tend to get distracted by everyday stuff.
Of
So
course.
if we're seeing a video over and over again or reading a book over and over again, sometimes we get distracted through a part of this. And the next time we would read it as if it was the first time. And maybe it is the first time because before we weren't even conscious reading it.
Yeah,
Would
you're
you
right.
agree?
You're right. You're definitely you're right. I can as well now when I'm studying something, and if the kids are home or something, I'm not 100% focused. So if
Yeah.
I'm not 100% focused, I can just close it because it's not getting in there. And the multitasking ain't working.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's just stressful. And so yeah,
And our ability to focus is also a mental muscle that we need to train and we need to exercise on a regular basis, because we live in a world that is very, very full of distractions. We receive like thousands of notifications every day on our mobile phones and thousands of emails, and we see lots of advertisements and everything. So we tend to get distracted very, very easily, and our brains are just trained to get distracted because it's not obvious to stay focused for a long period of time unless we stretch our mind, unless we train our brains to have this ability to focus. It's like a muscle. You need to stretch it. Sometimes it feels painful, but with exercise and if you stay consistent, again, consistency is key, you get there and it becomes
definitely.
easier and easier.
Definitely. I have never been a person that loved reading. I'm just honest. It was hard for me in school, and today I took my master's degree and I read for fun, if you can say so. So like it definitely takes some exercise, and it has also trained my mental about, okay, in the beginning, I couldn't sit for 30 minutes or an hour and read. It was like 10 minutes, and then I lost my focus very fast. But now I'm like, okay, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's fine. I can sit and read for 20 or 30 minutes. And I also keep telling myself every time where my focus goes, my energy flows. So I just need to stay focused now because I want to learn about this that I'm studying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess is that your old version of yourself would look at you like, oh my God, this is totally illogical. Why are you doing this? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I was the type that was like loving Netflix and chill, and I could just spend so many hours watching television. And now I'm like, wow. When I woke up in this program, I'm generally saying that I woke up. I even told my husband, I told him, like, honey, I feel like I was sleeping for 20 years. And he's like, how can you say that? No, I'm sorry, not about you and the kids. I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful for what I have achieved with my family and what I have achieved for myself as well. But like mentally, like I felt like this curtain got away from my eyes and I was like seeing everything much clearer now.
Yeah. I think it's like when you're driving back home and you just get home and you don't have any recollection of all the road that you've been driving. It's like you were on autopilot and your brain would just wander around somewhere and I mean, you still got home safely because you were on autopilot and your brain and your all the senses knew exactly what to do, but you had no consciousness of whatsoever. You couldn't remember if there was a truck and what color that was passing next to you, for example, or like how many people stopped at the red light or whatever. But still, you got there. I mean, it's a double-edged sword because autopilot mode would um, allow us to live on many different levels, allow us to um, not use that much energy, like to survive, and also allow us to focus on what's important. That's the main, I think, purpose of autopilot mode. But still, it would also prevent us from focusing on what's important if we tend to get distracted so easily.
Mm,
So we need to just be conscious whenever we want
mm.
and exercise and train our focus, our will. That is a mental muscle that is very important to train because otherwise all life would be lived on autopilot mode and we would miss so much.
And we will get so bored.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, we have some goals to achieve that are waiting for us. So you don't
absolutely.
got time for that.
Absolutely. So to end with something useful to other people, what kind of advice would you give other female entrepreneurs or other people in general?
I would definitely tell them that, okay, maybe you can do it by yourself, but you will get lost in the way. You will keep going around yourself like a little dog, and you will spill so many years. Why do that? Why do that when you can copy someone's blueprint? Get a coach, get a mentor, get someone who can stay accountable to you and tell you and show you the way and help you get to your goal much, much faster. Definitely get a coach.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't try to do everything by yourself. I think
yeah,
especially with female entrepreneurs, we are so much in our
definitely.
this energy of that, yeah, strong independent women. I totally
Yeah,
get it. I am one, you are one, but still,
yeah,
sometimes we need help, especially if it's about
definitely.
changing our paradigms.
Definitely. And I know that it can seem hard to ask for help. And especially if you are a woman, you want to show that no, I can do it by myself, I can get there by myself. But the most successful people have a successful team behind them. So definitely start by getting a coach that can help you with the guideline, help you how to navigate, and help you just you can copy their blueprint. Like why
Exactly.
why keep doing it by yourself? It gets lonely and you can get lost in the process as well. So
I
and
love it.
take it from me, I've done it
Yeah,
before
been
I
there,
started. Yeah.
done that. I love it.
So yeah, definitely.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Amira, for this very lovely evening spent together. And let's do this again sometime. I think this is a very good idea to be able to share our brainstorming sessions with other
Definitely.
people and just share new ideas and
Definitely.
share the wisdom as well and share the wins.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nina, for having me.
My pleasure.
Take
All right.
care.
Have
See
a
you
great evening.
soon. Bye.
Bye.